Hello and welcome to Howley Hall Golf Club, where today I'm taking a look at the brand new SIM2 MAX and SIM2 MAX OS irons from Taylormade. Hi there, Ryan Rastell here for Golfshake.com, and before we get talking about these two brand new irons from Taylormade, please make sure you hit that subscribe button to see loads more content from all of us here at Golfshake to help you play more and play better. So you join me here on quite a blustery and wintry day here at Howley Hall Golf Club in Leeds, but it's a perfect day to put these irons to the test. So let's talk a little bit about the technology in there to start with. So those of you that will have had Taylormade irons in the past will have seen this speed bridge technology that both of these irons still have. And the echo dampening system inside the head as well. So speed bridge is a way of trying to maintain the rigidity of the head when we strike it, and particularly when we don't hit the middle of the face, still got that energy transfer back out to the golf ball and help you with distance. Now the echo dampening is obviously a way of getting the irons to feel slightly better, so that when the technology in the head actually works and we feel it working, the dampening in there stops you feeling that really through the grip. So basically the club head and that polymer that's put in there dampens that feel a little bit and dampens the sound as well. Otherwise these irons would probably sound very, very loud. So it's got an ultra thin steel face on there as well, so we'd expect lots and lots of ball speed off these, almost metalwood like really in the ball speed that we should get. Very low CG. We've got the thin slot speed pocket there as well, further helping that club head to, particularly on off-centre hits, to kind of flex a little bit more and us maintain that ball speed. Now, Taylormade are calling this a cap back design, so they've basically enclosed the back of the club heads as well in order to kind of mask some of the technology as well as kind of hide everything away in there and just make it look slightly nicer, I think, as well, to be honest. Some of the ones that we've seen before with the speed bridge in there have looked a little bit crazy, and there's been kind of, you could see all the way through the club head and things like that, which are potentially not the best. I think doing that as well allows the face to flex a little bit more, so they've kind of encased it and been able to have this kind of pocket in there that allows the club face to move and flex a little bit more as well. So this cap back design is actually 7.5 times lighter than if they'd used steel for it as well. So there is the technological properties in that of being able to move more CG around the head to really help. That hollow design is certainly one that's very, very popular with not just Taylormade but many other brands out there as well. So we've got the progressive inverted cone technology as well. So those of you that have seen Taylormade products before, the inverted cone is obviously having that behind the face there, so that when we don't hit the middle of the face, again, we get great ball speed. Now that shifts a little bit with each iron head as well, and each different loft, so that in a pitching wedge versus a 5-iron, it's in a slightly different place. It's kind of more akin to where that type of player will miss the club head a little bit more. So moving that technology around really makes sure that every loft and every club head in these irons performs as good as they can do. Now these are obviously built then to sit nicely with the P series irons, which we've done some reviews on earlier. So P790, P770, P7MC and P7MB as well. So these will fit quite seamlessly in that line as well. But let's stop talking, let's go hit them in the performance centre and then get out here on the golf course and put them to the test. Let's hope this weather holds out and I don't get too wet. So I'm on the 17th here at Howley. This is my 7th hole now that I've played with the SIM2 MAX iron and MAX OS iron, and yeah, these things go a flipping long way. I mean, I'm literally 2 clubs longer with them than I am with my own irons, and they're just so forgiving as well. They're easy to get off the ground. The OS doesn't look the nicest to me behind the ball because it's quite big, but the performance is awesome. I mean, What I'm going to do in a second is actually chuck some balls down from the same position here on 17 and hit 2 with each ball and show you. But before I do that, I've got the 4, 6 and 8 in the set that I've got. So I've been, chucking some balls down at different distances, and they're just frightening how far they go. I mean, I hit a 4-iron 230 yards on the last hole, which is obscene really for me. And it was slightly into a breeze as well. It's quite a nice day today. It's a little bit breezy, but yeah, it's the ball is still going a decent distance with these irons, and they just feel so easy to hit. For that player who maybe struggles to get it off the ground, they're going to be perfect. If you don't hit the middle of the face every time, great, because these are going to perform fantastically well for you. I've hit some really toey ones and still got some really good distances out of them as well. So yeah, they are a very good iron and very, very forgiving. So let's just do this little experiment. I'm going to hit it from 170 with an 8-iron. I know, crazy. I'm going to hit 2 shots with each one and show you exactly where they've gone. So just walking up to the green now, I can see I've finished just short right with the first one, just kind of flared it up into the wind a little bit, didn't quite take that left wind into account enough. The second one that I hit with the standard max iron, pretty good. I've got about 10 feet for a birdie, which will do. Then I've hit 2 with the oversize, 1 here just front of the green, about 25 feet I've got to the hole, which isn't too bad. And then I've gone for the fourth one, just pulled it a little bit left of the green, but yeah, just didn't quite come back on the wind. But I'm still not got too bad a shot here back to the flag, so I'd fancy maybe getting that up and down on a good day. So yeah, pretty good. But from 174 yards it was in the end, into off the left, 8-iron. I mean, I'd have been hitting probably 6, maybe a really good 7, but I'd have probably hit 6 just to try and keep the flight down. But let me tell you, they all came out like a 6. Really strong flight and pretty much the right distance with all of them, apart from the first, which just ended up a bit short, but holy moly. So let's take a little bit of a look at what we're seeing with both SIM2 MAX and SIM2 MAX oversize iron. So we can see here from the figures that we've got, if we look at each iron, so I've got an 8-iron, a 6-iron, a 4-iron in each set. So we'll just talk through them individually. So let's start with 8. So we can see in the oversize, averaging 165 and then 170 total, 166, 172 total with the normal SIM2 MAX. Now, not really much of a difference, and to be honest, when I was hitting them, couldn't really see much of a difference in the ball flight or anything like that. You can see the Max is just coming off the face ever so slightly faster, and is slightly higher spin, which we'd expect because there's a bit more weight lower down in the head in that, a little bit bigger footprint to it as well. So the numbers are kind of true to what we'd expect to see here on the Trackman. Now, in terms of distances, there's not really much to choose between them, and certainly when I was hitting them out on the golf course, I couldn't really see that much of a difference either. They were quite similar in the way that they perform. Now, when we move into 6-iron, we can see that there is a bit of a difference. Now, particularly in the oversize, I hit 1, which just was ridiculous in how far it went. Now, I know that potentially these irons aren't designed to be hit at the clubhead speed that I'm hitting them at. I completely appreciate that. But that's kind of what you would expect to get from, because of such thin, flexible faces, you do get the odd one that just literally comes off like a bullet. And we can see that one that I've hit there, I've literally just hit 3 kind of decent shots with each iron in here. After, I tested them before in here, and then I've been outside and then come back in. So it's a pretty kind of robust test that I've done. But yeah, just comparing 3 half decent strikes with each one. But that one, the second one I hit with that was just came off like a rocket. Yeah, it's gone miles and sort of over 220 yards with a 6-iron, which is frightening, really. I mean, I know loft-wise, yes, these are a bit stronger, so 6-iron is 25 degrees in these, which isn't far off what I would say should, you know, is a traditional 4-iron loft, and certainly the 4-iron in my set is 25 degrees. So, yeah, it's kind of, but it's still, I mean, that one that I've hit there, I mean, I don't hit 4-iron 220 yards, not at all. It's about 215-ish, really. So, yeah, the ball speed is scary that we're getting off these. So 132 with the SIM2 MAX, and with the oversized 137 miles an hour nearly, which is very, very high. That's kind of up towards fairway wood kind of speed, really. We can see quite low spin with the oversized as well. So launching high, low spin, which is why we're getting, you know, crazy carry out of some of them. A little bit more spin with the SIM2 MAX. So, you know, if you're a player that's wanting to be able to kind of count on the distance that you hit these clubs, the standard SIM2 MAX might be better. The oversized, you are going to get that odd one that just goes like a rocket and goes miles. And certainly that player that it's aimed at, someone who doesn't hit the face, middle of the face that often, you know, that's going to suit. You're probably not going to find too much of a problem with that. But if you're a consistent ball striker who kind of plays to certain distances, then certainly the SIM2 MAX is going to be slightly better for you rather than the oversized. So then we're moving to 4-iron. So we're seeing there 142 and 143 miles an hour ball speed. Again, very, very high for an iron, and you can see 230 and 231 distance. Now, the biggest thing you can see there is obviously when we look at the standard SIM2 MAX, we see how closely dispersed they are. I literally hit 3 swings in a row and they were right on top of each other. Just felt great off the face, really nice and consistent in terms of the distances. And I think that's the big message that we get from this. The consistency is there with SIM2 MAX, whereas you're going to get the odd inconsistency, but loads of distance and ball speed and forgiveness with the oversized, and that's kind of what they're designed to do. Certainly when I look at the ball flights, they're pretty similar with both. You know, the launch angles, peak heights, and all those sorts of things that are pretty much the same. The only real difference we see there is the spin. So we get a little bit less spin with the oversized, which is what we'd expect. You know, the CG is much lower and further back in the head with that little bit more mass on the back end of it as well. So both really good sets of irons. I would say what I did notice when hitting them, obviously the offset in the oversized is more pronounced. You know, you can see that sat behind the ball. And also when you get to, couldn't feel it so much in the A time, but when you get to 6 and 4, you can really feel when you strike it the fact that the head is hollow, and also that how kind of pliable the face is really when you hit it. It's quite strange when I'm used to obviously more of a forged kind of solid construction golf club, and you don't really get that. It was a little bit funny, the feeling with the strike to start with, but you know, it's not a criticism, it's just quite different to what I'm used to. So hopefully you've enjoyed that video. Like I say, I really enjoy testing new product, as you've probably gathered from all the videos that I've done, but getting out on the golf course and testing them properly out there, as well as then bringing them in on the Trackman, giving you the information about the product as well, is, you know, just the best way to do it. But if you've got any more questions, please pop them in the comments section below. We'll do our best to answer as many as we can, and hope to see you all very, very soon.